question. And down the slide here, you've got the responses that they could have given to the question. This is the number of people in the survey who said they're teetotal overall. And this figure is the proportion of the sample who said they were teetotal. So effectively, because this survey, if it was UK NatRep, you could say 8% of the UK population is teetotal. You've got to take into account error, but that's effectively what this figure means. And then you may have cross breaks in your table, a breakdown of the data. So this looks at each of the regions in the UK separately. At the top on this line, you've got the number of people who answered the survey who live in the North East. One key thing to watch out for when you're looking at tables and thinking about what you might want to report in your press release is if this number's too low, you don't really want to be commenting on it. So this is always a good reason to go for as big a sample size as possible if you want to break down your data. To get a regional breakdown of this detail, you need at least a 2,000 sample. And if these are less than 100, think twice. If they're less than 50, absolutely don't make a comment on anything in a column, because it's just not reliable when you have that few people. As this was a single choice question, so people can only give one answer, you can amalgamate the responses. So at the bottom here we've got the amalgamations of responses for people who drink regularly, effectively, a few times a month or a few times a week. But if you're going to add up percentages like this, and we often see this, it's a way of creating like a stronger percentage if you've got quite a few categories. The most effective way to do this is to add up these numbers and divide by the number in the sample, because these percentages will often be rounded off. So if you just add them up, then you can end up 1 or 2% out sometimes. And then it's all about finding what's interesting in your table. So going into a bit more detail here, just reporting every stat that you have in a table is not going to be interesting for people. You've got to identify the key findings and things which are going to be most interesting in your release. What's interesting will depend on the question and also your expectations. If something comes up that you really didn't expect from the research, that's something interesting and perhaps that people won't think of. It's a good way to look for a new and interesting angle, or it could be confirming what you already know. But in the cross breaks, what matters is how different these are. So, for example, here, overall,